Don't we just love technology? I don't know what happened there. It just all disappeared. So I'm just reconnecting my second camera. I hope you're still with me. And I'm just connecting this up and we'll just see. Yes, we've gone in on there. That's lovely. Just reposition that camera so you can actually see what I'm doing, where my hands are. Technology at the best of times, hey? So I'll just have a quick recap. Apologies for the delay. I think I'm ready to go. So just to say, I'll delete the old other one. Just to say, had a fab retreat weekend this weekend, rather early mornings, and the last guests have only just left about an hour ago. So I'm hoping that everything's okay here for you. And going back into chat just to see who's joining me. It just switched to just suddenly completely just cut out from everything with no notice. So hopefully we're all going to be, yes, we're back again. Okay, let's try again and get down onto the desk. And I'm going to be sharing with you this fancy fold that one of my ladies saw in one of my cards on my twirly display for sale. Okay, so lovely. This was in the Moment stamp set, still current, but the I think those dies might be retired, and certainly the papers are retired. So that's why it went in my sale pot. So I'm going to just start down onto the table. Hopefully the others will come back and join me. And let me switch you across. Get that one, that one, that one, and that one. There we go. And here are my hands. There we go. So I'm going to be using the Vintage Christmas that we've just used for our retreat. We've done fantastic projects. Everybody's had great fun. So I'm just going to use this really for the fancy fold aspect of it. And I'm going to start off with one of the dies that I'm going to use for the panel on the front here. So I'm going to use this one. This is one of our contour dies, scalloped contour dies. So I'm going to use one of those for the layer. So I'm going to cut that one out. So I'm going to put that to one side because that's what I'm going to use. I will cut the inner one on a straight basis. But I need to decide what papers and then what colours I'm going to use. Oops, daisy. Try not to drop everything on the floor. So looking at the card and looking at the papers I've got available, I'm going to take this out. This should be 1/4 of each of the pages in the DSP for the Boughs of Holly. So it just gives you a kind of like a quick span of what we've got and what I can use. I do know what we used for my biggest project over the weekend. Sadly, I can't use that one because I've cut a hole in the middle. But having said that, it's not really going to matter because all we need on here is 3 panels. So we need 1 in the center and 2 on the sides. I will give you the measurements as I go along. Okay. Yes, I know. I'm back again. I don't know what happened. But anyway, we're going to be making this card on a Christmas theme so that Julie asked me from Retreat, she asked me what the measurements and how to work it out. So we've been using this as one of my main focal images on my biggest project. And we use the ones on the back here to fussy cut because lots of these images can be cut out by hand. So I really like those. And we just need to think what else to do as a contrast on the side panels. I wanted to use it with the bottles. So we could have those two actually. They're going to look quite nice. So let's have a go with those. Put those to one side. So I'm going to start with my base card, which will be, I think I will going to do my cherry cobbler as the base. So let's cut half a sheet of paper. So they're going to be my contrast layers. So guillotine. My room is still in quite a mess and the dining room has been abandoned. We fed them a crafternoon tea this afternoon, so it was really nice, but I have the aftermath of that. We just shut the door and left to go crafting, which is always a good sign, isn't it? So, right, this is half a sheet of our A4 cardstock. So normally we would score that in half and that would be our card base. However, today we are going to be scoring this to form this fancy fold card. And I quickly measured up from the sample I just showed you. My first measurement is going to be on 5 centimetres. Get the cutting blade out of the way and we're going to score that. That's there. And then the next measurement is going to be 7.5. Okay, that's going to be the little fold that goes backwards. Then we're going to go to 13 and a half on here. And then we need to go to 16. Now 16 on here is just on that line there with the crease. You can see 15 and a half. We are just where that little crack in the hinge is. So we're going to go in there like so. If you can't find that measurement, all it would be to come in for 5 centimetres from the other end. Okay, so they are the only creases we need to make. So get that one out of the way. And to make our folds, we are going to have this one folded backwards. And just need a bone folder that's not covered in ink. There we go. So we'll crease that one there. Then we're going to fold this one, no, that one this way. Just do a Z on there. Sorry about that. So that's going to go that way. So we're going to have this as the front image, and we've got a little fold going backwards. So this will mean this one will come back and this one will come forward. And as I said before, I was cut off by our technology. This will still fit into a standard size card. Okay, so crease those nicely so that they don't bounce up. And these ones again on here. Okay, so with those ones cut, we'll pop that to one side. We're going to go for a white layer, a basic white. And that will give us measurements for my panel. I'm going to have 3 panels on here. I'm going to have one in the center and then 2 the same on the 2 sides here. Okay, I'm going to bring your camera out a little bit. Look a little bit close to me. There we go. Hi Erica, lovely to see you. We had a bit of a false alarm today, so apologies for that. So my first measurement for my layers is going to be to come down the sides there. Whoops, Daisy, everything's falling over. We're going to do this at 14.3. So that's the size I go to for my first matte layers. So I'm going to cut that off and take that away. So then we're going to have the 2 side panels are going to be at 4.5 centimetres. So we want 4.5 there. And I'm going to lay them on there as we go. Then we're going to do another one at 4.5. There we go, and cut that one down. And then the centre panel will be 5.5. So I'm not sure if Julie's, it's been a long weekend and like I say, very little sleep. I'm not sure if Julie's joining us tonight, but she'll be able to watch back on replay. And I haven't made this one for a little while, so I thought it would be good to share with you. So going back to our designer series papers, we're going to need this at 13.8, sorry. So I'm going to cut this 13.8. So those little scraps can always be used. So we'll put that to the side. And then I'm going to go for a 1 centre panel here. So I'm going to make this one to 5 centimetres. Okay, lining it up top and bottom so we know we're straight. And that's going to go in the centre. Just out of interest, what's on the... Oh, it is on the reverse. There we go, look. So we've got this, the back side here is actually going to be what we're having either side. So that's going to be 4 centimetres. So just coming down 0.5 centimetre each time. So 4 for the left and then 4 for the right. Okay, that's that one. And another sample little scrap there to save. And that's going to go to the right. So let's bring you in and see how this is going to look. Okay, got you somewhere else now, fingers crossed it stays. Yes, hopefully, absolutely. It started and then suddenly just the whole thing just cut out. So I have my Tombow ready and I'm going to mat these layers together. Okay, so it's hard to cover up this beautiful poinsettia. You know what? I think this one's going to be running out soon. That's not good, is it? No, it doesn't want to play ball. So it's been overworked this weekend. So I think I'm going to resort to my Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, we'll resort to that one today. Okay. I like my Tombow because you have that bit of wiggle room. Okay, so just catch a little bit on there. 3 little bits down there. And then pick that one up. That's going to stick on here like so. I've cut it so it's half, excuse me, I've got a little croaky throat, 1/2 centimetre all around the edges. And that's going to go on that panel. And then these are the centre ones, and all of them are just half a centimetre. Okay, so just press and lift. Okay, just a couple strips down there and a couple down there. There we go. Okay. Who's that? Tilly Crafts. Nice to have you join me. I don't know who Tilly Crafts is. Do introduce yourself. Nice to have new visitors. Okay, this is probably from the YouTube side because I'm multi-streaming in both Facebook and YouTube. This is my regular slot on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock and then Wednesdays at 9. You missed me last week because I was coming back from Vienna. Okay, so pop those on, and then those panels are going to be attached on here, and we're ready to go. So let's just do this. You can't see it on the white, but I know it's there. Okay, so I want to get that in the middle of the folded edge, the crease there. Okay, it's coming down there. Nice little border all the way around. And then this one. If it's your first time watching us, Tilly Crafts, please like and subscribe, and then you'll be notified when I go live in future, so you'll see me coming through. So this is my centre panel on here. You don't have the wiggle room with the stamp and seal that you do have with the Tombow. But the Tombow has been overworked this weekend at the retreat. So I like to go across the ends with this tape, and then just a few little marks down the side there. There we go. And get that into the centre and either side there. I have done this card once before, so you might have seen this before. This is going to be the card front, and doesn't it just look nice? You imagine that sitting on a mantelpiece somewhere. It's really, really pretty. So for my panel on the front, I wanted to use the contour die. I think we just got that far before I got cut off. So let's just take my cut and emboss machine and decide which colour card we're going to use. I think we might use cherry cobbler. Oh, I've got some there. Okay. Keeping with the red theme coming through because of the poinsettias. No, that's good. I'm going to cut this one out. I've got a large pair of scissors here just to take some of that excess off. Like so. I'm back in my caddy. And we bring on the big beast. Okay, so it's a cut and emboss machine. And put this on the bottom here. The contour dies are relatively new to me, but they are really gorgeous. I love the scallop edges. Just give that extra detail. Hi Kim, nice to see you. We're in Blackpool. Oh, Karen from UK. And that's lovely to see you, my dear. Okay, so I'll take that one and just pop that back on the floor. Okay, get rid of my little frame and just pop this out. Now, I find that just pushing in the corners and just get it started, and it just releases itself really nicely. We've got that beautiful stitch detail. Can you see that in there? So it's just stitched on the inside. So for my layer in the centre, what I tend to do is to cut just inside of that. So I just need my ruler and see what size this is going to work out to be. So if I measure what the dots are, that is just under 7. So I think 6.5 will be nicely there. And this is 10, so 9.5. So 6.5 by 9.5. And that will be my basic white layer inside. And we can use the baby trimmer for this one, I think. So 6.5 by 9.5. Oh, look, that is perfect. Already at 6.5. and 9.5 that way. There we go. So, who has seen me with the vintage Christmas before? Have you seen me with creating with this one recently? One of your favourite sets. Yes, it's beautiful. My retreat ladies had this and the punch in their bundle this weekend and absolutely loved it. We did do a fantastic project. I was really chuffed about it as a main project, and they all thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was really good. So this is going to go in there, I think. Did I do that 1/2 centimetre too short? Methinks I did. So just measure that again. 10, and I wanted this at, no, that was about, it's just a little bit over the 10. I think we'll be fine with that. Okay, so that's going to go in the middle there. Just going to shave a tiny extra little piece off the side there because it is just a little bit wider than I wanted. Just a few mils out. There we go, that's my centre panel. So there we go. Okay, you're back. Yay, 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 yay. Lovely to see you. Hello, my friend. Hi. I'll be using this fun fold in my next class. Yes. Have you used it before, Angela? So I'm going to be using, everything is upside down, and I have just dumped everything ready to use. I haven't even cleaned my Stampin' Up plates, but I'm going to take this one off. Ignore the markings on my my mats, my boards, everything. So with this set, where is that way? These are the stamps as I've mounted them for the bottled, the vintage Christmas. So what I taught them to do was to mount their card according to the stamp set. So the stamp set directs you to upright, upright, and upright. If you try doing the flowers first, you will find that you could position them any which way you liked. Okay, Lynette, I'll repeat the measurements shortly, just before I finish. The flowers here can go any which way. Now, my key point in discovering was look on the stamp set, and this is the way up because you want your foliage going that way. You want your flowers that way up with your little one at the top there. And then these ones in that position, and they will all fall in place. So if you start off by putting your greenery on first, okay, we're just going to grab a little scrap of card. Rather a large scrap, but this is what I've got handy under my rushed this evening. I've not even had my dinner, and it's 8:30. But hey, I had a little half a cup of soup that wouldn't fit in a freezer bowl, so I had that just to keep me going. So I've already mounted these because they've been here for the whole weekend. Okay, and just reach over for my puck. This is my air hockey puck that just, with the felt on here, just helps pressure on there so much. Beautiful image. Okay, now the next thing I did was line these stamps up in here. And because I've already put them there all weekend, I know they're going to be absolutely perfectly placed. So I do recommend having a practice first onto your grid paper or a piece of scrap paper just underneath there, just to make sure that you get them in the right situ before you stamp onto your actual cardstock. So I laid this in here according to the stamp set, pointing that direction, that way up, and they work a treat. I do like to have a mat under here normally, so that when I'm using my big ink pad, this is Cherry Cobbler, I don't rock. You can see my tables are in desperate need of tidying up from the weekend, and I've got green on here, so I might get inky fingers tonight. They will get all cleaned down probably in the morning. I will probably have an early night tonight. Now with the cherry, I do like to do more than one. It depends on how juicy your ink pads are. Okay, so if you look at that, I know it's going to go in exactly the same place again. Hi Nancy, nice to see you. So that's one's gone in there. And then on this plate, those of you who are friends of the Stamparatus, we lift it upright, go down, and we have the fir cones here. So I'm just going to take that one, take my early espresso, and tap on there as well. Again, leaving that in the same layout as on the stamp set. So the fir cones are at the top here. I lined it up in the middle 3 flowers. You've got a small, medium and large on there, and they fit so beautifully. Look, you can see the 3 meet, the fir cones will just fall where they naturally should. Okay, so once you've got them all in situ, it's a really good idea to leave them there and make a few while you're doing. If you're going to do some like these for Christmas cards, I just have a stack of little pieces, cut to size, exactly what I want, and yeah, just do several at once. So I'm going to take this one out. Now I'll leave that one on my mat. And then this one I will just take out, because this is the single stamp, I turn it round and I leave it on my mat here. What did I say about that green ink on the back of that stamp set? Okay, that didn't take long, did it? I do have wet wipes here. Let me just try and get that off my hair. Okay, very, very inky look. Stamparatus normally keeps your hands clean. It doesn't guarantee that when you've got ink on your stamp pads, it's gonna keep them clean. So just take that off so that I don't do it again. Okie doke. There we go. All clean. So if I take my scissors here, I'm just going to take my snips. Oh, I think I've left the cover behind. I'm going to take this, I'm going to fussy cut this. Okay, and glasses. Okay, take that out of the way. So I will just whiz round this one and just show you how I fussy cut. I take off all the excess first. Okay, just get rid of that, pop that in the bin, less to worry about. And I like to start with the red. I'm just coming up as close as I can here. So I leave a little bit of a border and leave those of you who follow me regularly will know I use my fingers on the left to pivot that card and move that round. Small gap. Okay, has anybody else got this set? Is anybody else loving this set? Hi from Arizona. Hi, Frances. Nice to see you. I was apologising at the start that I missed last week due to the Stampin' Up convention in Vienna. I was just travelling home and we were a little bit late back because of a delay on the flight. Okay, I am going to come up here on the straight on that piece. Sometimes I do have time and I just waggle in and out of all of those. So my left hand here is pivoting, it's holding it. My scissors are staying perfectly still. Angela, you love it. It's a beautiful set, isn't it? It's a fabulous price bracket as well. And the project that I did at the weekend, I'm not showing you right at the moment because I'm gonna be releasing that as a class, as a day class as well. So we do have a photo of all the ladies with it though. I stood on up the stairs from the corner behind me and got one of the husbands collecting to take our photo. But they had a thoroughly brilliant time. We never want them to end. Fabulous weekends. Especially with having so much time out with COVID. It's great to meet up in person. So my left hand again is just pivoting round all the way round, moving it like this round where I need, and then just snipping that with the scissors. So this scissors hardly moved at all. Okay, so that's that one there. Put my glasses up there. So that is my image. So where we have our card here, we have our, I'm going to cover a lot of the paper up on that. I should have done that with the other way around, shouldn't I? Then this one's coming in the middle. This is going to sit coming over the top. Okay, so all that's left now is to do one of our bottles to go on the bottom here. And because I've got time tonight, I think I'm just going to quickly show you the other technique that I use. So I'm going to have my mat out and another scrap of that paper, cardstock. Yes, I think I'll do it on white. Stamps. Bottle. Now we can work out from here whether we'd like to have, bring that back again, sorry for my arm, whether we want to have the big bottle or the little bottle. The big bottle has the punch with it. It is long enough to do that. Or we can have the shorter bottle and fussy cut it. You've seen me fussy cutting tonight, but this is a better size for the piece I'm working with. So I think I'm going to use that one. Okay, so move those out of the way for a minute. So take the punch out of the way. The punch is gorgeous. It does work really, really well. And for a little bit of contrast with all the red on my card, I think we'll go for the Evergreen, which is the same ink that we used for the top. Okay, I'm just tapping on there, trying not to jiggle the camera. Yeah, you're saying the shorter one. Excellent. Good, good. So I'm going to pop that this way on. Just press that down. There we go. And if we just want to go round the ink pad, if you think that they've had a big hammering this weekend, I like to just tap all over it to get a good even spread. Sometimes the centre of your ink pad you'll find is a little bit paler than the rest. It's a sign it needs re-inking. Okay, so see which one's going to turn out best. There we go. That's a darker one, isn't it? That's good. So another one over there to clean later. So I'm going to concentrate on this one. Okay. Now I introduce some of the people to this with the packing tape technique. So, oops, a daisy got stuck. I snip this end piece off because you don't want that, and then I use this to cover over the whole of my image. So I start at the end and I push my finger down so I don't get any bubbles in there whatsoever. Okay, and then we cut this off. It's just clear packing tape. And by leaving this end and keep putting it back on there, you can find the end easily next time. Or easier, should I say. Okay, so glasses down. Just going to quickly fussy cut this. There's no creases in there at all. Bring it up to the camera for you. You can see it's all lovely and smooth, and it's giving us a glassy effect on our bottle. Okay, so just start that in there, come around the edge. Again, my left hand is doing all the moving. Okay, and we just move that in and out, around the top, cut that piece off. I like rounded edges at the top there, so I just come round there, in, out, in, and down the other side. Hope you can see that okay. Down there. Okay, and again, rounded corners at the bottom. There we go. Last little snip around the corner there. There we go. Okay, so nice and clear on there. It's just all nice and firm. So then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to curl this, like curling ribbon. I'm just going to curl it over, including the neck of the bottle. You like this set? Yes, I know I do. Yes, it's because I've had the retreat and they've been using it, so I've got it out on the table. I've got a lot of things to clean and put away, so it's kind of easier to go back to this one again tonight. So you can see I'm just curling this like curling ribbon. Now that is how much I've curled that in my hand. Can you see that on the camera? That's how much it's been curled. So it will sit there like so. It has got quite a dome on it because I've curled it rounded. So it's not like sharp creases in here, it's beautiful. So now I need to go to my Stampin' Dimensionals. There we go. So I tend to use my standard size ones, and I like to put one at the top of the bottle with the angled bit going up to the top. Okay, I'm going to take off the top one, I'm going to add another one. So we've got a double layer. Okay, I'll take it off because I am going to put them on straight away. This one I tend to keep flat at the bottom and then take it off and put another one on the top. Okay, by doing the double layer, it's going to support it either side. Okay, pop them out of the way. Now, when I put this on my card, I'm going to put this layer down so it doesn't keep moving about. So I'm going to use some of my Stamp and Seal again. There you go. Got enough on there. So get that in the centre, all the way round. There we go. So this is going to be added to the front of my card when I finish. So what I like to do is normally I will put a little tiny piece of Tombow down the edge there. And then this is the foliage is going to come out from the side there. So I'll leave the Tombow tonight because my Tombow has just died on me after a very busy weekend. Okay, so just support those on there and just press on those 2 foam pads. Now I have cut across on some of these. So we cut, let me just bring you in a little bit closer. You can see. Whoops. So I have cut a few of these, cut through the top there and had a short burst of flowers. But today I think I want to leave it longer on there like so. You can position this wherever you want. So you've got a bit of manoeuvrability. You can have them upright like so. So I'm going to leave this piece resting on the bottle and I'm going to put some pads on here. So not right down to the bottom, but a couple of those here, up down the centre. And then in that packet, I have my minis on the other side, the smaller ones. And I'm going to take a couple of those to put in there and on the sides. Whoops, it's stuck to my tweezers. And one over there. Go, so they can go. I think I've gone too close now, haven't I? Can you see me okay? So just take those ones off. And just tap that with my finger and get that positioned over there. I like to go for that little piece there so you can still see the neck of the bottle. And it's resting on there. And there is my image. There we go. So I'm going to leave this on here. Because it's a fancy fold, it is going to have a bit of height to it. So, and it's going to bounce up on here. So with our postage costs, it would tend to be one that was going to cost us the higher rate of postage. So because it's bulky anyway, I think I'm going to put my pads in the middle, but just on this panel here. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring the larger ones back, leaving the sideways clear, but coming in about there and there on both sides. Okay, the same down the bottom or top, whichever way up we are. And then one in the centre. Take those ones off as well. Oops. That one come off? Yes. There we go. And that would ensure that that's not going to cover up on the edges here. Oops. Position that in the centre. Like so. And then push that in and we're all done. Hey stranger. Oh Jan, nice to see you. Okay, all that's left is our sentiment. Now I do have a block here. I'm going to pull the sentiment out of this set because it goes nicely, making spirits bright. Okay, you can use that one. I've used this one over the weekend on a little label as well. We had that in there. I'll just bring you out again now. You've gone too far in. So that little label fits nicely on the front of the bottle. But I like this one because it's going to come across the front of our card. So let that relax. So with our photopolymer stamps, it is easy to actually bend them and do silly things like so. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but if you leave it just to relax in its natural state and then just put your block over the top, then you're good to go. I've got a little scrap here. I'm just going to see. Yes, that's going to fit nicely. That's good. So, oh, shall we go red or greens? We've got a green bottle and it's going to go through. So I think I'm going to go back to the cherry cobbler. Okay, and just tap that all over my ink pad. If I line it up along one of the straight edges, hold my breath. There we go, making spirits bright, nice and clear. So there's our sentiment. Just going along the top there. And then if I get my little trimmer, minus the frame, and I'm going to just, I've got it's nice and straight on there, but I want to take some of the whiteness away. So I'll take a slither off there and then bring it along and take this side nice and straight so we know that our greeting will be straight. Taking care not to cut off the tails on my G and the light. Okay, there we go. Nice little greeting. And so here, take our snips and we can just fan the edges. I think that one's a little bit smaller, so I'm taking a hairline off there. Snip into the centre and then from the corner to the centre each side. Okay, and then the same this side, into the centre. Oh, stuck to me scissors. Into the centre and then either side. There we go. There we go, and get rid of those little tiny pieces. They can go on the floor when I vacuum later. So because this is going to go over the front of my bottle, I'm just going to curl that front piece just slightly, and then that's going to have a dimensional on each end. Oops, it's alive. It's just going to make that curl over there nicely, and then just sit on the sides there on a small dimensional. So where have they gone? Here we go. So one of those each end. And take that off straight away. And this one, that end, and take that off straight away. There we go. So it's going to be curved over our bottle. Okay, and just curve those down either end. Pressing those firmly just to get them to stick nicely. Okay, and there's our card. And as I said, it does fit into a standard size envelope. It looks a bit wider, but it's going to fit in there nicely. The whiteness around the side here, I feel I need a little bit of sparkle somewhere. So of course we have to have some gems and we have to have some Wink of Stella. Now a little tip that I learnt, I don't mind if the Wink of Stella goes over the other pieces of my card at all. I'll put the gems on first. No, I won't. I'll put them afterwards. Oh, sorry to hear that, Lynette. I've just caught up to Jan. I've just seen on the comments there. Hope you're feeling better soon. Now we have two sets of gems here. We have the red rhinestones, which are nice and bright and sparkly. You can see those on there. And then we have the pearls, these ones here, that have got the red. I don't want any more red on here, but the mint colour, the green, goes quite nicely and it tones in. So I think I'm going to use those. So I'll take a couple of those off there. In fact, I've got a strip that's been used. Let's take those ones. Use these ones up. So I'm going to take some of those and I'm going to just pop those down from the corner. Just as a little trio. On there. Move that straight. And then I think I want a little bit of detail on the sides here. So I think I'm going to leave it with just the splatters from Wink of Stella. So I'm going to lay that on there. Now one of the tips I learnt, you will have seen me squeeze this on here and get that coming through. It is getting to all the end because I can hear air in there. Now I squeeze my Wink of Stella and I tap it on my redundant Tombow and I will splatter over here like so. One of the things I learnt was if you do it the other way, because my Tombow was going like this, it was splattering wide. So I'm going to do it this way and knock it on here and then knock that downwards. It's more control because this isn't waggling around anywhere. It's just the little sparkles are coming off that. And I'll have some on the outer pieces here. They're very, very small. You might not actually see them on the camera. Okay, when you want to bring the ink down to the front of your nib again, do squeeze it off your actual project, because if it comes out in a sudden blob, you don't want to ruin the project. These are looking really sparkly. Okay. A bit noisy, sorry for the noise. There we go. I'm really happy with that. I'll bring it up to the camera. I hope you can see some of those. I will let it dry, but I hope you can see some of the tiny little sparkles on there. I just catch that in the light there. I think you can see some, and that's all over the projects. So that's looking good. I'll take that out of the way, and it hasn't splattered as far around my desk as it would have done the other way that I used to do it. So I'll leave that one to dry, leave the inks to dry, and then I will just quickly decorate a little bit of my envelope. By using some of those colours again, I'm going to take a piece of the designer series paper. I've buried under my trimmer here. So get that one out. There's a little random strip here, which was really nice. And I'll take a piece of the cardstock as well. So I can mount that on a little strip as well. Just coming down there like so. So trimmer. Okay. Just measure what this distance is on here and what size we want that to be. We've got 11.3, I believe. That's a strange measurement, but that's fine. So we're going to take this to, I have to do it on the big trimmer. So we're going to do here to 11.3. Will that go on there? Yes, it will. So I'm going to take this and just go slightly wide of this. So we want to go 2.5. Okay, that way I keep the biggest piece for another project. I can turn this round and go 11.3 on this way. There we go. Cut this one to just under that to be 3 mils short. And I think it might be better actually to do the dots or the colour. No, I like the green. So you've just got a tiny little border around the edge there again. So we grab the tweezers, a little bit of tape runner, and we're nearly there. So just a little bit down the top, middle and bottom, onto our panel. Little slight border around the edges. And say without the Tombow tonight, it is not quite so forgiving to wiggle room. You know I love. There we go. There's a little bit of decoration on the front of the envelope. There is our card. That will be dry very quickly, and it still fits into a standard envelope. Okay, so I hope you love that project. Okay, and it's another fancy fold. It's just going to bring the measurements back in again. Lynette, if you're still on, you can rewind and hear the beginnings, but we scored a half piece of card. So it's the 14.85, and we scored it first of all at 5 centimetres, at 7.5 centimetres, 13.5 centimetres, and 16. So you have a backwards, forwards, and that just collapses up into a standard envelope. Okay, so I hope you love that. The layers, you'll just pop back and see all the layers for the 3 different pieces. But I really love, as you've commented, I do really love this set. So hope you enjoyed that and find another use for your set. Okay, just catching up with the comments there. Lovely, lovely. Thank you, ladies. Going to bring you back to me now. Take that off and bring you back to me. And say thanks again for watching me. And I will be back again on Wednesday this week. And as always, if there's something that you'd like me to demonstrate to you, like Julie did today, then just let me know. And if I can bring it into my repertoire, then I will. Okay, so take care. Have a lovely